Hello everyone. So students often ask me, uh, should we be doing the image processing course that is running this semester? Should we do the computer vision course that we are running this semester? Um, what is the difference between computer vision and computer graphics? Are they related? Are there overlaps between the two course contents? And so on. Right. So here is a very short introduction to computer vision and image processing and related areas, and possibly after looking at this short lecture, you will have some idea of how these fields are interconnected. So if we look at computer graphics in as have a very high level view of what is computer graphics, we create a specification of a virtual world, and then we use algorithms and computer graphics methods and techniques. We use these methods and techniques to write programs which run on some kind of processor, and the output is that we either render an image of the virtual world or we create an animation, in which case we get a video, right? So this is the path that computer graphics follows. It takes a specification of a 3D world and it generates 2D images or 2D videos of that world, which are views of that world from particular locations using cameras that we set up. As in contrast, right, computer vision does exactly the reverse. Computer vision takes as input either images or a sequence of images, which might be frames from a video, and uses computer vision algorithms and techniques to figure out things about these images or videos, and figure out things about figure out properties and things about the world of whom these images and videos are, right? So for example, here you see a set of frames where a person is throwing a boomerang. So you might want to do segmentation on these image sequence, where you want to segment out the person from the background. You might want to classify this action. You might want to recognize this person. You might want to track his movement, or you might want to even track the boomerang. Or you might want to reconstruct everything that you see in this image in 3D. So computer vision in a sense takes images and videos as input and interprets the world from those images and videos. So in this sense, it is solving exactly the problem in the other direction that computer graphics is doing. So graphics and vision therefore are sister disciplines which solve complementary problems. Okay. Now, where in all this is image processing? So when algorithms have to process images, those images are sometimes blurry, sometimes there is the colors are not quite all right, and so on. So algorithms have a hard task working with images. So you want to process these images so that they become amenable for higher level algorithms. So you want to recognize a person. Before that, you might want to adjust the contrast in the image so that the algorithm, that is the recognition algorithm, has a easier job to do. So image processing is basically any algorithm that processes images to make them amenable for higher level algorithms. Sometimes image processing is called low level computer vision, but I want to say that this distinction between image processing and computer vision is a bit hazy, and everybody always does not sort of agree to this. You might even say that things like recognition and segmentation are higher level image processing, rather than saying that blurring and sharpening are low level computer vision. So you see that the boundary is very fuzzy, but you have a general idea of what image processing might constitute, right? So what it might be made up of. So image processing and computer vision work with images and tell you things about the world. Computer graphics, you give it a description of the world, and it creates images and video. Now, where things get really interesting is at the intersections of these areas. So computer vision and computer graphics come together to give you this wonderful field of augmented reality, right? So what is augmented reality? You have an image or a video which might be captured in real time using a camera, and you are looking at the world through, say, the camera of a cell phone, and the live video, in the live video that is being captured of the world, you suddenly see a Pokemon. So a Pokemon is obviously not a real thing. It is being rendered by a computer graphics algorithm, and it is being placed in your view of the real world. So a computer vision algorithm ran on the feed of the camera, and it actually figured out where the ground plane was, and it figured out the position of the ground plane with respect to the camera of your cell phone. And then a computer graphics algorithm ran that took the position of that ground plane and placed that Pokemon inside it. So a very nice combination of graphics and computer vision shows up in augmented reality, and all this happens in real time, and it is supposed to be interactive. If you want to do more processing, you can pull off more fantastic effects, and that is exactly what happens in special effects, right? So on the right hand side top, you can see the scene that was actually shot. So this example is from Game of the Thrones, and you can see that the actor is actually holding a prop that is colored bright green, and you have these red triangles which serve as markers for this prop, the position of this prop vis-a-vis the camera. So that is what is actually shot. Then a computer vision algorithm figures out the position of these markers in every frame with respect to the camera. And then a computer graphics algorithm takes these positions and the camera location that has been figured out from these markers and places a synthetically rendered dragon that has been created using computer graphics techniques, and paints over the bright green prop with this dragon. And what you see finally is this composite image. So special effects allows you to do more fantastic things because you can spend way more time computing these. So the final results are just better rendered. So you don't have the real time constraint here to finish everything really fast. So these are non-interactive, of course, and are just better rendered than the techniques in than the images that we see in augmented reality demos. But the class of techniques, there is a very large overlap. It's just that something is doing more computation and something is doing less computation, and the results therefore differ. Computational photography is a very interesting area. So anytime you take photographs and you do any kind of computation, you are again basically fusing algorithms from computer vision and graphics to bring you an image that did not exist in reality. So here you see that there are kids swimming in the water in one image, which were potentially there in a swimming pool, and there is a bear taking a swim in what I would gather is a lake. And these two images have been merged using something known as Poisson image editing to create this final image that is not real. Computational photography happens routinely in cameras these days to remove red eyes from photographs, to merge faces from different photographs, and to create HDR imagery and so on. You can do even more computational photography if you resort to something like Photoshop or the gym, right? So if you look at the entire area of visual computing, we of course have computer graphics, computer vision, image analysis, and processing, but you also have areas like computational and digital geometry, which talk about how to create algorithms that can efficiently represent and process geometric data. You have visualization, and visualization again has these broad categories of scientific visualization and information or data visualization. You have virtual, augmented, and mixed reality, and all the spectrum of realities in between. We'll talk more about this in another lecture. You have computational photography. So all these areas together make up the broad domain of visual computing, and I think all of this is very interesting, and if you get a chance, you should sample all of this. They all borrow techniques from each other, so you will start seeing more and more connections between these areas as you learn more of them. There are of course allied areas which are of use to what we do in visual computing, and of course machine learning is one of these. There is signal processing, so image processing and signal processing. If you consider the image to be a 2D signal, then there is a huge amount of overlap between signal processing and image processing. In fact, image processing, signal processing, people will say that image processing is nothing but signal processing, just like there are a lot of machine learning methods that are used in computer vision. So many people might say that computer vision is just machine learning, which is not strictly true, but okay, a lot of machine learning is used in computer vision these days. Then of course there are areas like perception, to figure out whether the images that you are rendering in computer graphics, how are they perceived by the user. There are areas like robotics that borrow from computer graphics and vision, and vice versa. There are computer games and the whole field of real-time visualization and graphics. There is imaging, medical imaging, scientific imaging, that depends upon further processing using image processing and analysis algorithms. There is high performance computing. There is general purpose computing on GPUs that involves or intersects with visual computing at various areas. Then of course there is speech, which is also kind of signal processing, and in a sense, there are domains of study like cinema and art which intersect with visual computing purely because the output of visual computing algorithms often contributes to cinema and art, and also advances in visual computing are driven by the needs of cinema and art. So it's a very exciting field, and I think it is very interdisciplinary, and the more you learn about it, the better it gets. So I hope you have a wonderful time learning computer graphics, and it serves as a very good introduction to visual computing. Thank you.